And we are live. This is
Yay.
the show
That's
that is
awesome.
on the internet.
You're on the internet.
You're right, I am. We are literally on the internet at this time.
I'm on the internet every day, man.
Me too. I get the internet in my sleep. Not actually. That'd be
That's
too
weird.
strange. So, welcome one and all to the 57th episode of the Dapper Gaming Podcast for May 4th. I'm your host, Ryan. With me, as always, Joe.
Sup?
He's a bad dude. You watch out for him. He's a
I
bad
know.
influence.
That's not nice.
It's a terrible joke. One day I'll stop making it.
Sooner or later.
And with us, this week's special guest, CaptainPure. Not a YouTuber. You're like the first not YouTuber on this show.
Yeah.
Actually,
well, it's good to be
that's
here.
not true. We've had Newt from Underbelly, post Underbelly. He doesn't do YouTube stuff anymore. And we had one dude who writes a movie review thing and video game thing. But no YouTube videos.
Well, it's good to be here.
You
Thanks for having me.
So, why don't you introduce yourself to the people?
Well, my name is Pure. I live stream on Twitch TV every single day. I started back in October. I just have a variety broadcast, stream a whole bunch of different stuff. Just depends on what I'm in the mood to play. That's what I do.
So, that makes you a pretty good guest, because our first segment always is, what have you been playing this week? So, if you stream every day, what did you stream this week?
Well, honestly, I've been streaming pretty much the same thing for the past few days, but I have played a few different things. I've mostly been playing World of Warcraft because that's like my main thing. That's where a lot of my audience comes from. But we tried out Jamestown earlier this week, recommended by Joe, which was
Great
a
game.
lot of fun. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Let's see, what else did I play? Earlier this week, sometime after Jamestown, we also tried out Risk of Rain. Very, very fun game. It's a roguelike, and I very much enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, although it's very challenging, so I did not actually get a win in on it, but oh man, so much fun. Highly recommend it to anybody. How about you, Joe?
I have been playing a lot of Spider-Man.
Which Spider-Man game?
I recently picked up Spider-Man Shattered Dimensions, which is really good. And I recently bought, because it went on sale, The Amazing Spider-Man. The first one, not the second one that just came out.
I heard the second one is better than the first one, because the first one, I hear this complaint a lot. You just, like, shoot webs into clouds and, like, swing off of them. Because they were, like, too lazy to make the webs actually go all the way to connect to something. So they're just like, there's a cloud with a thing in it, maybe. And so, like, you can just, like, shoot webs wherever, and it looks really fucking weird, apparently.
I'm literally not gonna lie. I kind of don't care. Swinging around a Spider-Man is always fucking awesome. I don't care what it attaches to. It's always fun. But yeah, I've been enjoying those. I've recently also picked up the Devil May Cry HD collection. Played that a little tiny bit, just because I've never played the series, so I wanted to try it out. I'm enjoying it so far.
Dude, it's really fun. The only thing that I'm going to warn you, some of the controls, especially in, like, 2, might seem kind of dated.
Yeah.
Dated controls.
The controls in the first one seem kind of dated.
Yeah, like 1 and 2... and 3 probably have, like, dated controls. Hell, even 4 kind of felt a little dated in controls, but they're good.
They're
good
then I also
games.
picked up Sonic Unleashed, which I just started. It's pretty good so far. I've only played the first level, though. I haven't gotten to any of the werehog parts or anything. So
Yeah, isn't
I'm
that
not...
game, like, half good? It's like, anything where you're
Yeah.
not a werewolf is, like, good. You're like, man, this is, like, the precursor to Sonic Colors and, like, Sonic Generations. And then you get to a werewolf part, and you're like, why is Sonic a werewolf?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I gotta get to that part before I can actually see if I like it or not. But I'm excited. The other thing I've been playing is Luigi's Mansion for the 3DS, the new one that came out, Dark Moon or something like that. I don't remember what it's called. That's a great game too. So I've been playing a bunch of great games.
Dark Moon is great. I loved it.
I think that's about all I've been playing recently. Oh, and I hung out with the girlfriend and I played Cooking Mama. I played Super Smash Bros. Melee, which surprisingly she kicked my ass in. Played some Halo, and there was something else that I can't remember.
King of Tokyo.
Yes, I hung out with a bunch of friends and played some King of Tokyo board games. That was amazing. We played a bunch of board games. Wow, it's hot in my room right now.
I love board games, so you have to indulge me and not talk about video games for about 5 minutes and talk some board games.
Okay, we
Board
played
games
King of
are
Tokyo.
awesome.
We played King of Tokyo, which was definitely amazing. We always play that one. That's one of my favorites. Other than Penny Arcade, I love that deck building game. What else? We played Cosmic Encounters, which was the first time I played that. That was awesome. We lost Eli's camera.
Dropped. We lost him.
Yeah, no. Sometimes it does that to me. I don't know why. I really don't know.
Oh,
We should be good now.
we are
What
fine.
else?
Okay.
What else did we play? We played Bang, which was fun. The dice version.
I don't know what
And-
bang is. Explain it.
Basically, you have an ace, an outlaw, and a sheriff. So the outlaws have to kill the sheriff has to kill the outlaws, and the sheriff has to kill the ace and the outlaws, and the ace has to kill the outlaws before they can kill the sheriff. And then basically there's a card game version, which I can't remember how to explain. Then there's the dice version where you have to roll gunshots to shoot people. If you roll 3 dynamite, then you take a damage. You can roll beers to heal yourself or other players. And if you roll an arrow, then you have to take an arrow out of the pile. And once all the arrows are taken, you take damage. Each character has like special abilities and a certain amount of health. And then once you run out of health, you die. So the point is to kill the specific person depending on who you are. And then like the whole idea is trying to figure out what the other players are, because no one knows who's the sheriff, who's the outlaws, and who's the ace. So you're trying to figure out who the outlaw is and all that. So it's pretty cool. It's a fun game. There was another one that we played that I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember what it is right now.
How many people do you have like that you play games with, like in a group?
That day, well, usually it's like 3 to 5. I think
3 to 5.
there was 4 of us that day.
Okay, because I was gonna say, if you have 5 or more people, 5 to 8, then I know the game for you. I'm gonna really, really strongly suggest Shadows over Camelot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like $70. It's a 5. Okay, it can be played with less than 5 people, but 5 people is like 5 or 6 people is like the optimal number. And you all play a Knight of the Round Table, and you have to save Camelot. But one of you, like, you have to save Camelot from like the Black Knight, the Picts, the Saxons, because they're like invading, and like defeat a dragon and like get the Holy Grail and gather all these artifacts and stuff. But one of you is actually a traitor. One of you is trying to fuck everyone else over, and you're not allowed to talk about like what cards you have in your hands at all, or like what you're gonna do. You're allowed to be like, I don't suggest trying to slay that dragon, because like everyone has to play cards to kill the dragon, and so like we lost Eli again.
Yeah,
but-
no, I'm sorry.
No
He'll
problem.
probably keep coming back in and out.
Yeah, I'll just pop in whenever it fixes itself. Skype doesn't like my webcam. I don't know why.
That's all right. But like everyone has, you can't directly tell people like what you're gonna do or like what cards you have. However, one of you is a traitor, and everyone has to like do something bad every turn and do something good every turn. So the traitor has to like try to balance out like helping the team with trying to stop the team, because it's a co-op board game. Everyone's playing against
Yeah.
the board except for the traitor, and it's just like so silly. I really highly suggest it.
Basically, you're trying to screw people over while trying to make it seem like you're not screwing people over.
One person Okay, potentially one person is trying to do that, yes. Because potentially there's a traitor. There might not be a traitor. And so, like, once I played this game with someone who was bad at it, like a bunch of new people, and I thought one of them was the traitor. So, like, I accused them of being the traitor, which, like, pushes you closer to losing the game. Because, like, you can't... If you successfully find out who the traitor is, then you get, like, a bunch of white swords, which you need to win the game. But if you falsely accuse of being the traitor, you get a bunch of black swords, which pushes you towards losing the game. And, like, I accused them, and I was like, listen, you're just playing this game too goddamn badly to not be the traitor. And they're like, I'm not the traitor. I'm like, no, you're the traitor. I accuse you of being the traitor. And, like, they pulled out their loyalty card, and they weren't the traitor. I was like, damn it! And then the person felt bad. Friendships were destroyed. But, and the thing is that we ended up losing because we thought that two people were the traitors that weren't the traitors, so we got too many black swords. There wasn't even a traitor in the game. No one drew that card.
That's hilarious.
So it was like, damn it. So, like, you have to be really cautious about how you just accuse people.
There's, like, we played maybe, like, 10 games in general, like, we played some games multiple times. And my one friend, Nick, won pretty much every game except for 2 of them. It was ridiculous.
Oh, Joe, do you have your mic right next to your phone?
Oh, yeah, okay, I moved my phone.
Thank you. I keep hearing it vibrate. I'm like...
Problem solved.
It's funny, because I saw that happen in one of your videos last night when I was watching some of your stuff.
Oh, God, really?
Yeah.
Tell them what video so you can go re-record it.
Well, no, it's one of the past podcasts.
Oh.
It was,
okay.
Yeah.
I don't think my webcam is liking Skype right now. It keeps telling me there's too many people in the call. I might need to update it since you say it was a recent change that they made.
They didn't. I don't think they
That
updated
sucks.
Skype though.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
I don't think
Yeah.
I don't know, because I update my Skype like once in a blue moon.
it's weird well, it's a podcast anyways.
Yeah,
People just need to hear your beautiful voice.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
So, I played a bunch of games today.
Wait, before we continue on to you, there was one more game that I played. I finally got my hands on Titanfall.
Yeah? Did you like Titanfall?
I enjoyed it. I wasn't overly impressed.
It's just a lot like COD. Like, once you get past the movement system, right? Like, the movement system's really cool. Like, I like being able to jump on everything.
Yeah.
But the maps seem really small.
I think it would have been better, actually, with smaller maps, tighter corridors and more tall buildings that you can climb on, and 0 Titans. Just get rid of the Titans.
I kind of like the Titans, but I don't like being in the Titans. If that makes sense. Like, I like calling down my Titan and then just letting it kill shit and get me tons of points, and then I just run around in the buildings surrounding the Titan and kill everyone who's trying to kill the Titan. That's how I rack up points in that game.
I don't know what to think about it. It was definitely... It wasn't bad, but it wasn't anything amazing.
Yeah, like, it's not a bad game. It's not, like, the next coming of Jesus.
Yeah,
as people were basically saying
I don't know.
it was.
It might be the COD killer just because Ghost was that bad of a game.
Well, we'll be talking about COD a little bit later.
Yeah, with that new announcement, I'm assuming there's going to be some news on that today.
Yeah.
Well,
didn't you
what have
see
you been playing?
Kevin Spacey, man?
Oh, God. Let's save that for later. Ryan, what have you been playing?
So, this week, I played a bunch of games with the missus. With
the missus?
With my lady friend. So, her and I are leveling characters together in WoW. So, I played some WoW. We're leveling up Night Elves because the only race that I've ever actually bothered... Okay, I have one level 90 character, and it's a Night Elf. And it's the only character that I ever bothered to take all the way through, like, the beginning areas of the game. So I'm actually legitimately interested in what the story is now, like, post-Cataclysm in that region. So, like, I made a new Night Elf so I could see what the fuck the story is. Because it's kind of interesting. And then I kind of came to the conclusion that Cataclysm has way better questing than Vanilla did. But there's something really, like, bizarre about Cataclysm in that they, like... all of the precursor to, like, the big events for the level 85 characters at the time, or the level 80 characters at the time, are, like, all in the leveling process now. Like, there's all these huge characters that come back in the events of Cataclysm in WoW, and their return is all documented in, like, the level 1 to 60 level grind.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about because you play WoW. And so, like, you learn about all these characters who are sort of important from levels 1 to 60, but no one who was, like, actually playing the new Cataclysm content at high levels fucking leveled new characters, so they don't know the actual story of Cataclysm because it starts at levels 1.
Yeah, all the relevant stuff is much later on from when they're introduced.
Yeah.
So it's like
I'm not a WoW person, so definitely don't know what's going on. But
I'm sorry. That must be how you feel all the time.
I know both of you are into WoW, so that's cool.
I'm not even that into WoW. I just thought, like, she's way more into WoW than I am. So I was like, oh, well, I'll get back into WoW, and it's something for us to do. And we, like, rarely ever play WoW, so... like, my character's only level 20. We played it 3 times, on a daily basis.
You have multiple 90s.
Yeah. My druid's getting there, too. That's why I say I've been playing so much WoW lately, because I've been trying to grind that out and get that finished.
My druid... okay, the only character that I have that's level 90 is a druid. Night Elf druid.
Well, hey, you have good taste.
Well, I started playing the game, like, on launch day, so over 9 years ago. Jesus, I have almost a decade of my life in that game. And it's the only character that I play because I only like to play my druid. Like, I like to heal with my druid, and I get more sour every time they release an expansion because they, like, change how druids heal.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, they stop being the character that I made in vanilla, and I'm just like, I hate you.
I love resto healing. That's why I'm leveling a new druid.
Yeah. But, we've been playing WoW. And then she came over last night. So we watched a movie. And then today, we played Super Mario 3D World. On my Wii U. Because I haven't played that game in a long time. And it was really fun. I really love that game. It's really, really good.
It is. It really is.
It's probably the best game that came out last year.
I haven't played it.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I need a Wii U.
I love my Wii U so much.
I like my Wii U too. It's basically my Monster Hunter machine, though.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have Monster Hunter?
I wish I had Monster Hunter. I don't have
Monster
that many
Hunter.
games
It's so good.
I literally told my friends a couple days ago, this is my terms of thinking. I was like, I want a Wii U, but I don't want to pay for it. They're like, yeah, that'll definitely work for you.
Yeah, that sounds like a bit of a challenge. One of you should just bite the bullet and get a Wii U so that you can play Mario Kart at the end of the month.
Oh man, I'm so excited.
I got my pre-order in.
Dude, you get a free game with it too.
Yeah.
Wait, you get another game besides?
Yeah, you get a free download of either Pikmin 3, Wind Waker HD, New Super Mario Bros. U, or Wii Party U or something like that.
Oh, good. There's one game on that list that I don't have then. Wii Party U. Great. Because it's like... like, okay, here's the thing. If you own a Wii U, there's so few good games for it that you just buy all of the games that are good that come out.
Yeah, I got all 6 of my games when I got it.
Oh, I have more than 6 games. I have like 10 or 12. I have an actual library of games. Like, I have a few games, but I also have a lot of Wii games that I bought too. I bought like 20 Wii games because I didn't have a Wii. So I'm like, I'm going to buy the 20 games for Wii that are worth owning. Because now I have one.
I love my Wii. It was my first console. I got into gaming very late.
Yeah, I've always like played on PC, so I didn't bother to get a Wii. Like my one friend had a Wii, and I was like, "This is kind of cool. I won't play this for years," so I
They've
didn't
added
buy
some
it.
games to it.
Uh-oh.
So you get options from Nintendo Land, New Super Mario Bros. U, Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, Game & Wario, Pikmin 3, The Wonderful 101, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD, Sonic Lost Worlds, Mario and Sonic, the Sochi 2014 Olympic Winter Games, and Wii Party U.
Oh, I'm totally gonna take Sonic Lost Worlds because I don't own that yet.
Well,
And
guys, I'll see you later. I'm gonna go pre-order that and get Monster Hunter.
dude, do it. Monster Hunter's so good.
And then get an HD capture card.
I bought my
Yeah.
Wii U specifically to play Monster Hunter. Like I bought that system just for Monster Hunter, and I thought I was gonna kill the disc drive because I put 400 hours into Monster Hunter last year. I was like,
God.
I don't. How long do these disc drives work for? Like, how many hundreds
That's
of
a lot of
hours?
hours.
I wanted mine for Wind Waker HD and Super Mario 3D World.
Yeah,
want it
3D
for-
World's solid or really good.
I
Yeah.
want it for Zelda.
Yeah,
Except
so we
there's
played
no Zelda.
3D World today, which was really good. And we played a bit of Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed, which is a game that I haven't played in a while,
It's an amazing game.
but it's still really good. I really like it on the Wii U. It's 5-player on the Wii U. Because if you have someone playing like with the gamepad, then that person automatically just gets their, like, it just plays on their screen on the gamepad. So
Yeah.
like 2-player split screen, one person's on the TV, one person's on the gamepad, and like that's why it goes up to 5 players. Super fun. I really like that game with lots of friends. So now that I played it again, maybe I'm gonna try to get lots of friends over.
I know I have it for Steam, and I've played it with a couple people a couple times on it. My laptop has trouble running it. That's one thing I hate about having a laptop. I have trouble running some games.
That game's really good. It's the game. It's so nice. I bought it twice. I have it on PC as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's because I bought it for like $3 on a Steam sale, and I was like, I played it with Tyler. He used to host this podcast with me. He does not anymore. But
I replaced him.
Joe replaced him. Joe murdered him for his co-hosting spot.
Shh! Don't tell anybody.
Don't tell anyone. No one heard that.
All right, so let's jump into some news. So there's some Star Wars news today about Star Wars Episode 7, which is appropriate because today is May 4th. May the 4th be with you.
Yes.
So
Oh, he went there.
I did. Okay, so half sour, half not sour, because now I'm getting to go to a much better thing. But I was invited out by like some people to go to this party tonight for May 4th that was Star Wars related. It's not Star Wars related. It's just there was R2D2 on the poster, and it's some DJ after party. It sounds really bad, so we're not going to that. But I was like, I'll go to that. I could go to a Star Wars party. No, wasn't happening. Now I get to go to a bar and eat food and just get drunk. So that's what I'm gonna do after this podcast. But so they finally announced the cast. We've got the whole original cast basically. Harrison Ford is playing Han Solo. Carrie Fisher is Princess Leia. Mark Hamill as Luke Skywalker. Anthony Daniels as C-3PO. Peter Mayhew as Chewbacca. And Kenny Baker as R2-D2. And then we also found out who the new actors are. We have John Boyega, Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver, Oscar Isaac, Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis played Gollum in Lord of the Rings.
Ah, that's interesting.
Yeah, he was. Oh, and then we have Dom Hanal Gleason and Max von Sydow. Sydow, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's really cool that they brought back a lot of the original cast, even after so long.
Yeah, I'm like
I'm
excited
surprised they're
about
not all
that.
dead.
You don't really know what to think about it because it's been just so long. It's like,
Yeah, so the thing that's kind of interesting about bringing back all of that is that I guess this movie isn't set very far after episode 6. Which is strange because Spielberg had like a rule where no one was allowed to make anything like 200 years before or after episodes 4 to 6 because he like needed that for making movies, I guess. I guess that doesn't matter in now that he doesn't even have the rights to make the movies. So I guess that rule can be broken. But like all of the expanded universe stuff mostly took place like outside of that date range. Because he didn't want people to fuck with his lore. So that he would have like room to make movies with characters that were popular.
Episode 7 is supposed to take place 30 years after, if I recall correctly, so it's still relatively recent to the other ones.
Yeah.
You're not like big into Star Wars, Joe?
I kind of am, but it's been a while since I've watched it, so I don't remember anything that happened in 5 or 6. I also don't know actor names, so that doesn't help.
I always remember Mark Hamill because... Okay, I remember Mark Hamill's name for 2 reasons. One, he does a really good Joker. He did Joker for like a bunch of the animated movies, but I also think he did it for the Arkham series, like the video games.
Yeah, he did.
And then also because of the Simpsons episode where he's in the musical that Marge is in. And
didn't even know about this.
Yeah, it's an old episode. It's like season like 4 or 5. It's old, but it's good.
Yeah, I've never been too huge into Star Wars myself. I honestly have only seen a few of the movies, and it's been years since I've seen them. And like first, like the huge trilogies and all that stuff, I haven't seen Lord of the Rings. It's like I'm just not a movie person. I'm video games.
Fair enough.
There with you. Not a huge movie person.
I really like movies.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
I know you had that huge RoboCop splurge a while back.
oh my god,
Oh, no.
I watched all of the RoboCops and the fan remake and the new one, and I was just like, thank you. Thank you for all of these bad movies. Alright, so let's jump into some actual video game stuff.
Yeah.
So let's curse at the Japanese because they get all the cool arcade games. We don't get any arcade games. So about a week ago, so earlier this week, Valve and Taito announced that they're making a Left 4 Dead arcade game in Japan.
Ooh.
That sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. I like that.
I want arcade games.
Yeah. So one of the things that people don't really know a lot of, like, don't know about Valve is that Valve has actually teamed up with Taito before to make an arcade game. In 2006, they made Half-Life 2 Survivor. So this is like right after Half-Life 2. Well, not right after, but this is before the episodic stuff.
Yeah.
That they started doing. Only in Japan, will never come to North America or Europe or anywhere like that. Just in Japan. And it's like, damn it!
God damn it, Japan, not again.
Well, it'd be okay if Valve would release these games somewhere else. Like, I want to play them.
On Steam.
No, never. Why would
Well,
you think of such a thing?
They're sort of arcade cabinets, so...
Yeah,
You
that would be a
could port
little
them. Metal Slug was an arcade cabinet game. It's all over Steam now.
Yeah, but I have a feeling that these ones would involve light guns.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I can't guarantee that, but you know, zombies.
No,
light
port
guns.
it to the Wii U. There you go. Job done.
Just hold the gamepad sideways.
I feel like they're more likely to port it to the PlayStation
I don't know.
because they got the move.
House of the Dead.
Yeah,
was
that's
on
true.
Yeah, House of the Dead was on the Wii, and that was a great game for the Wii.
Oh, dude, I have the Dead Space light gun game for the Wii.
Yeah.
That's a great game. So good. All right, so I guess just to keep with the Steam and zombie theme, we'll jump into an announcement that came out from Dean Hall this week. So Dean Hall, the creator of DayZ, has announced that DayZ's standalone version has sold more than 2 million copies.
Oh, man.
Whoa! That's a lot.
That's a lot of copies for a game that's in beta.
Yeah, I'm one of those. I'm not ashamed.
You should be.
I know I
You don't
should
play
be.
you don't play the standalone that much though, do you?
I don't. I haven't played it since like the week it came out because it's horrible right now. I'm just waiting and waiting. I don't mind waiting.
Yeah, it's like, okay, here's the thing. I don't get why everyone bought that, because, like, it has the potential to be good, but it's certainly not good now. Let's just buy it in hopes that it does get good.
I bought it to save some money later on down the road, but honestly, yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Well, it's been like a year now.
Yeah, the way I figure is I've spent probably over 1,000 hours. Like, that's not even exaggeration. An exaggeration in DayZ and Arma combined. So, you know, another $40 isn't really that bad for me.
No,
but that was a long time ago.
That much time. But, like, so it's not even that DayZ is that bad right now. Like, it looks pretty good. It's meeting some of its potential, and it's definitely playable now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But it'll be better it'll be better later. And a lot of people that I know who bought it don't want to ever play it again because they're just sick of it. They played all they're going to play, but they played the worst version of it. And so, like, they've almost not gotten, like, the experience that they could have gotten.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So many people were streaming that the day that it came out. It was completely absurd. I hardly played it all. I think I have less than 10 hours in it currently, so I've hardly played it compared to the mod. But I do plan on playing it again in the future once there's more content added, because I think it'll be quite good. As far as graphics and performance goes, it's actually fantastic compared to the mod, which is not really saying much because the mod runs horribly on most computers, but it's pretty cool.
Dude, the mod runs terrible on my computer, and I'm like way above the recommended specs.
Oh yeah, me too. It's I'm lucky if I get 50 FPS most of the time. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's absurd.
One of the worst optimized games I've ever seen in my life, and I still put hundreds of hours into it.
All right. What else we got here? So, this week it was announced that Washington State is suing a card game developer for failing to deliver on their Kickstarter. Did you guys see this at all?
No.
Can't say I have.
So, there's been a couple projects in Kickstarter that have, like, failed miserably in that they got their funding, they took the money, but they never managed to deliver.
Like Anita Sarkeesian. Oh.
Didn't she do some of her videos?
She made like 2 of them out of like the 10-part series she promised.
Oh. Well, that wasn't the one I was referencing, but that would be one of them too. I don't want to bother arguing about that. Those were stupid. Yeah. We'll save it for another day. But
or no day.
No, there was a board game that was coming out called like The Battle for Atlantic City or something like that. It was like a Lovecraft style, like, themed board game. And it failed. It got its funding, but it tripled its funding goal. It asked for like $22,000 and it got like $75,000. And they didn't manage to get that board game out. The company folded, and then I think Cryptozoic, I think they're publishing that game now. But so that actually managed to get out only because someone else like bought the rights to the game and gave the game to the Kickstarter backers. But this card game, it was it was kickstarted, and it raised more than $170,000.
Wow.
Or no, wait, sorry, that's Code Hero. I lied. I'm looking at the wrong one. No, it raised $25,000 of like the $15,000 goal. I was thinking of Code Hero. Code Hero got 170 of its 100, but never managed to come out. But Code Hero, the dev, like the person who was making that's like, I'm still working on it. I just don't have money to hire more people. But yeah, this game managed to raise $25,000 for Asylum playing cards, and it didn't come out. It was supposed to come out in December of 2012. So, yeah, you can obviously. That's a long time ago.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
So what? And Kickstarter has like a in their term has a thing when you like back, they're not responsible for the project getting actually done. So Washington State is suing the company that started this Kickstarter, claiming that Nash and he's the guy who owns the company and was designing the game, and his company basically breached Kickstarter's terms and conditions, wherein project creators are legally bound to fulfill backer rewards if funding is successful. And so there's an actual suit against him, which is like it's a kind of a big deal because it determines kind of where Kickstarter is going to go in the future, because this is obviously not the first Kickstarter project to fail. A lot of them fail.
Yeah.
Because things just get out of hand sometimes. The best laid plans can still fail. But this is like it's a big deal because it pretty much sets a precedent for what a consumer's rights are if they back a crowdfunding project. So it's a big deal.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Any thoughts?
Honestly,
yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I really don't know what to say about it. It's just, it seems kind of understandable to me that they should probably get sued, and I'm not surprised that they are getting sued if they didn't like they got the money and then they didn't bring out the game or give anything to anyone. I'm not surprised that they're being sued by that at all.
Yeah. OP did not deliver on that day.
Yeah, exactly.
OP never delivers.
Never ever.
Like, how would it affect Kickstarter though? Like you're saying, like this could extremely affect Kickstarter, and I don't.
Well, because if you go out, like, look at Broken Age. Broken Age is a game that substantially changed because of how much money it got. Like, they were looking for very little money, but they were also looking to make a much smaller game. Like, a way cheaper game. And they're like, well, we got millions of dollars, so it's not right of us to take millions of dollars and then design a $200,000 game. So we're going to design a game that costs millions of dollars. And then it cost too much. Like, they ran out of money. So they had to do a bunch of other funding stuff to deal with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, in the case of, like, game development, where things can just go wrong and cost a lot more than what they were ever expected to cost, it can kind of push away people from starting projects because of the risk that if you raise enough money on Kickstarter but don't find like a second or third wave of funding, because that's normally how games get made, is that you get your first wave of funding, which is like $1 million so that you can design the game, and then you get a second or third wave of funding so that you can actually make the damn thing. And if you can't find that second or third wave of funding for these projects that cost millions and millions of dollars to make, then you can't deliver on your Kickstarter goal, like on your Kickstarter project. And if you can't deliver on the project, then you could get sued for money that you don't have.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I can definitely see that being very discouraging to indie developers and whatnot, or anybody who wants to start a project on the Kickstarter. It could greatly discourage them if they heard about something like that.
Yeah, but it doesn't just affect like Kickstarter; it affects all crowdfunding basically.
Yeah,
Because like it creates a precedent for
Indiegogo, all that.
yeah, because it basically creates a precedent, a legal precedent for what the results are.
Yeah.
Of like not delivering on a crowdfunding project.
Yeah, I can definitely see where you're coming from, like where it's coming from there now.
Yeah, okay, so Jesus, what else is there to go? So we don't need to talk about that. Let's talk about the Halo TV show.
Wait, what? How did I not know about this?
Dude, they announced it at the Xbox launch or Xbox One announcement.
Oh yeah, that.
When they're doing that Steven Spielberg thing.
Yeah, I forgot about that because I didn't care about it.
I
remember why I forgot.
So there's two Xbox shows or Halo shows. So one of them's by Steven Spielberg and the other one is by Ridley Scott. And the Ridley Scott one starts shooting this week, and it comes out later this year.
Done. That sounds he sounds familiar.
Aliens.
Okay, that's where it came from.
I'm like certain.
Again,
aliens.
I don't know people.
Yeah, Alien and Prometheus and Blade Runner. Yeah, he did Alien, not Aliens. James Cameron did Aliens.
Okay.
But, so, apparently, the rumor is that Showtime will be airing the Halo television series, and then a week later, it'll be streamable on Xbox One for free. That's the rumor. But it also kind of shows, like, a commitment from Microsoft to kind of branch out into being, like, an entertainment company and not a like games and like software company.
Yeah. Considering how the Xbox One went, that definitely makes sense. They want to start getting the multimedia stuff going.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was always their big push with the Xbox One was like, it's going to be multimedia, and after like this first year, the people who buy consoles not like in the first year of their lifespan are like hardcore gamers. Because they're like, I need to have this now, and I need to have the newest and best games. And then after a year after launch, the people who buy it are like, I want the new Call of Duty, and I want something to watch Netflix on.
Yeah.
And so if you can provide better like multimedia content and actually provide like some value there, with, for example, a Steven Spielberg produced and directed Halo show, then you could actually pull in like a more mainstream audience than your competitor. And so like it's actually, even though it looks like to gamers the Xbox One is definitely like is lost. I think if you look at the MPD numbers that came out last month, there's like a huge difference, especially in how they're reporting numbers. Like the PlayStation 4 has passed 9 million sales, and Microsoft was saying that the Xbox One has passed 5 million shipped. So, like, the second that you start, one, that's a huge difference. 4 million, big number. Two, they didn't even manage to sell 5 million consoles. So the number is bigger than 4 million.
Yeah.
But it's like but with like this multimedia stuff, it's a way to attract a way more mainstream audience. And so it's a way better like selling pitch to the most of the market than we have games that are pretty.
Yeah, you can appeal to a much larger audience by going multimedia with whatever you decide to do. Although Halo is a bit specific, it's a good start though.
Yeah, well, Halo is probably their biggest IP.
Oh yeah, definitely their biggest IP by far. I mean, that's still a lot of people you're appealing to with that.
Even though Halo's been quickly dying the past couple of years, generations.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Surprised they didn't go. I'm surprised they didn't try to go Titanfall way. The new Titanfall TV show. I'll watch giant mechs. Fuck, actually, I'd watch that.
I would
Watch a
totally
giant
watch
mechs
Mechs
fight.
fight.
That
Yeah,
does not
dude.
sound bad.
Pacific Rim, man. That movie was awesome.
I started watching
Dude.
that for the first time, but then I didn't get to finish it because I had to leave my dad's. But it was good up to the point that I watched.
They're coming
My
out
dad.
with a second one.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
That was
it-
one of my
awesome.
favorite movies this year.
So what happened is that Pacific Rim like failed in their in the box office in North America. Like it did really bad domestically, but it made fucking hundreds and millions of dollars in China. So they're like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, this movie that failed domestically, super profitable everywhere else in the world. So we're gonna make another one.
Yeah, I honestly
That's
hadn't
good.
heard about it until it came out on DVD. So I was like, oh, man, this is awesome. And
Dude,
now
I
have
saw
a-
it in
great.
IMAX 3D.
Oh,
So worth it.
Oh man, that is great. I love having it on Blu-ray. The quality is great on there.
love
Godzilla's
that
coming
movie.
out soon. I'm excited for that shit. I'm excited for Godzilla. I'm a big Godzilla fan.
Dude, I
Never
love
seen any of
old
the Godzilla movies.
Did you
They're
see
good.
that Japan was all mad because this Godzilla's too fat?
Yeah, I heard that. That's hilarious.
That's funny.
Oh, like I can't believe, I can't believe they're not like, good job, you didn't make him look ugly like in 2000. You're like, he's too fat.
All right, so we've got four more things to talk about this week. One of these is real quick. So Unreal Tournament. Do any of you guys
Yeah,
even care about that anymore?
I do. I still
Okay.
play Unreal Tournament.
It's not my scene, but yeah, whatever.
They're making announcements about a new Unreal Tournament next Thursday.
I'm
Okay.
not too surprised since the Unreal Engine 4 is coming out soon.
Yeah, so
Usually
that's why
there's a
I'm-
new Unreal Tournament every time a new engine comes out because the Unreal Tournament is to show off what the engine can do. That's what happens like
Except that
every
the
time.
last one came out like a good bit after
Yeah.
the new one. Also, the first Unreal Engine 4 game came out this week. Daylight came out.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Oh
Unreal
yeah,
Engine.
that's true. Unreal Engine 4 isn't completely out yet though. Isn't it still under isn't it still kind of in beta and only certain developers are allowed to use it?
No, I don't think so.
It's completely out now?
I think some stuff's still being worked on. Like, certain libraries are still being worked on, but most of
Yeah.
it's done. Like, people are using it.
I
Only a
remember-
few people are. The thing
I
is that
remember
if you're like making a new COD game, then you're not.
Yeah.
You're not oh man, we still have to talk about how weird Kevin Spacey looks in that.
Yeah. I remember Unreal Engine, the trailer for Unreal Engine 4. That looks so good. I can't wait to see that engine put to its full potential. I've always been a big fan of that engine and what it can do, and how it's open source for anyone.
It's not. Older versions are open source. That's what they
Yeah.
do with it.
Yeah, Unreal Engine 3's been open source for a while.
UE3 is
So-
not open source. UE2 is.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess the war.
You can use UE3 for free. It's not open source.
Oh, I thought it was open
There's-
source.
No, those are different things.
Well, no, I mean, I knew it was free, but I thought it was also open source, but I guess not. But yeah, I can't wait to see what people do with UE4.
Yeah, Rigby's mentioning that the stable release for UE4 was April 24th.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
like a week ago. So, yeah, that's what I was thinking, because I was pretty sure it was, done for the most part.
Yeah.
But I think there's still some things that are being worked on. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Those things are never totally done.
Definitely not.
Alrighty, so what else we got here? So
Kevin
Zenimax and John Carmack and Oculus. Did you guys read about this at all?
No.
I've read about Oculus a bit, but That's it.
Okay, so you guys know that Zenimax owns id. Id's the company that made Doom, and then they made some other stuff. And John Carmack founded id and like worked there forever. And he left this year to go work at or last year, I guess, to work at Oculus Rift full time on VR. And Zenimax is claiming that some of the that John Carmack took proprietary software from Zenimax like owned companies and used it in his work at Oculus, and that as a result, Zenimax should own a like large part of Oculus.
Yeah, I call bullshit.
Yeah, that doesn't seem right.
Well, the thing is that when you work at like a big company like that, like at Zenimax or whatever, things that you create while working there are owned by the company, not by you. And so if he took some things that he worked on when he was at Zenimax and actually used it in Oculus, then that is technically owned by them. So they do have an argument there.
Legal stuff.
I don't think he would use, like, I can't see him using much of what he used in that company on virtual reality, though. Depending what he was working on development-wise.
Well, Zenimax is claiming that Zenimax was doing research into VR a couple years ago.
Okay.
And that they're not actively pursuing it, but they were doing it a couple years ago, and that John Carmack gave that stuff that they were working on a couple years ago to Oculus before he was working at Oculus full time, and that other people that left with Carmack to go to Oculus have used other things that were from Zenimax in the time since in order to like improve Oculus towards getting to the point of that of the prototype that they used to basically promote the Kickstarter.
Yeah. That's interesting.
It's not surprising that this Oculus has already kind of admitted fault in that they tried to settle a deal with Zenimax where Zenimax would own part of Oculus, but that they couldn't come to a deal on how much. And so Oculus has already basically admitted fault, like, in that they actually tried to settle a deal.
Huh.
It's just not surprising that Zenimax would kind of turn up the heat now that they sold to Facebook for a lot of money, and Zenimax I need that Facebook money.
Oh yeah.
So it's not surprising that it comes now. I think Zenimax has a legitimate claim. I don't think that what they're doing is wrong. I mean, as a corporation, their job's to make money, and so their corporate lawyer's like, man, they sold to Facebook? Hey, I bet we could sue them. So
America, everybody. America.
Law.
Carmack kind of he did respond to it. He responded to it on Twitter. So Carmack responded, "No work I have ever done has been patented. Zenimax owns the code that I wrote, but they don't own VR. Oculus uses 0 lines of code that I wrote while under contract to Zenimax." So I guess that's his response. Oculus hasn't actually directly responded about like all of the articles that came out this week, but it'll be interesting to see how this plays out because it could be a big hit financially for the company.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Especially when it's such a big company and a lot of people are pushing for it to be the next thing.
Well, it's not a big company, it's a company that has a lot of presence. Like it's
Well, it's a company that has a lot of potential to be big.
Yeah, like they have no market because they're not at market yet, but and they're not making any money.
Yeah,
but like, they've got the names.
Once they do get there, they have Facebook, they have so much, and they do have potential to be huge.
They've got Carmack, they've got ex-Valve guys over there from Valve's VR project that they scrapped. And
imagine being the guy who fucking started that up, and he was just like, I'm gonna try to make this virtual reality machine, and now he's like sitting here with all these Valve and fucking Carmack people, and you're like, well, I've think I got somewhere with this.
This was not what I originally planned, but I like it.
Pretty
Yeah,
much.
well, the guy started the project as a university project at some university in California. I can't remember which one. And he ended up showing it to Carmack a couple years ago because to like get help from Carmack on fixing some things, I guess. Because Carmack's been working on VR for like a decade now.
Yeah.
The only reason why he basically ended up leaving Zenimax was because he wasn't allowed to work on VR there because it wasn't... Like, Zenimax is a big company. VR, at the time, did not have the potential to make the kind of money that they wanted.
Yeah. And now everyone's trying to do it.
It's a very
Xbox.
competitive market right now.
Yeah. And Oculus is winning.
Yeah.
Actually, let me correct that. Facebook is winning.
So, let's get on to the last thing that I actually want to talk about this week. We can talk about the Call of Duty thing another time, unless you want to talk about it this week.
I'd be fine with talking about it this week.
Alright, let's talk about that. Did you watch that trailer? I watched that trailer.
I surprisingly haven't watched the trailer, but I've seen all the pictures. And I have seen parts of the trailer, and I've seen the pictures of Kevin Spacey.
The trailer is bizarre because it looks exactly like Kevin Spacey, but they didn't like go full out with the mocap on his face and his body, so he moves robotically, and it's like uncanny. And you're like, I don't like this. Don't like this one bit.
I'm actually just surprised it took them this long to make a futuristic Call of Duty.
Dude, the last one was futuristic.
Yes, but not
Or not
like
the last
this.
one, but Black Ops 2 was.
Black Ops 2 was, but it wasn't that, like, I played it, and it definitely wasn't as out there as this one looks like it's going to be.
This one sounds too serious in tone. I watched the trailer and I was like, I don't know if I want to play this.
Black Ops 2 was like 2080. This one seems like it's like fucking Spider-Man 2099 shit.
Yeah, we're going up to Battlefield 2142 here with this.
Yeah,
they have
much.
mechs in this one.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they have exosuits.
Exactly. So I'm surprised it took them this long to get to this point. So I'm not too surprised about the advanced warfare.
Okay, that's the dumbest name because Advanced Warfighter is still a game. Like, does no one remember Gra at all? Like, that's not going to get confusing even in the slightest.
Ghost Recon Advanced Warfare.
If I was Ubisoft, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, those sons of bitches.
I would be pissed too. It's not. Isn't the free to play one that just came out also called Advanced Warfare?
No, I think it's called Phantoms or something.
Nah. But yeah, Gra was a pretty big. It wasn't like it was a small game. That was a pretty fucking big game when it came out.
Yeah, it was like the game for Xbox 360.
Yeah, exactly. So, I can't believe they just like straight up took that title.
Lawyers, can we do anything about this? No, we can't.
All right. So let's jump to this last thing that I actually want to talk about.
All right.
There's not much to say about the Call of Duty stuff. Hey, Joe, did you know there's a new Call of Duty this year?
Whoa!
Big surprise there.
I can't believe it.
So
I'm surprised.
let's talk about CCP's EVE FanFest, because that's this weekend. Or, well, was that? Actually, it was last week. Sorry. It started on the 1st, so...
I have no clue what that is.
Do you know what EVE is?
Yes.
Okay, this is a fan festival held by the developers in Iceland. It's fucking huge.
So it's an EVE convention.
Basically.
Okay.
And so, here's the thing. EVE is like a big game with a lot of people in it. And so, one of the things that they decided to do this year is that they made a monument that has every active player's name on it.
Oh, man.
Holy shit.
That must be huge.
Yeah, it is. And
that must be in like size 0.2 font, brah.
One of the things that they did is that there's like these corporations are the equivalent of guilds in that game. So there was a system for corporation heads, like leaders of the corporations, to submit names of people who were in the corporations who aren't active anymore because they died. So there's also a bunch of there's a bunch of characters who have their names like much larger because they like died sometime in their like time playing Eve. And so there's like a huge monument basically to all of the people who play Eve.
Damn.
And they have like all of their characters' names on them.
I just imagine awesome. I just imagine being there and being like, I have to find my name. Scrawling through the statue trying to find my name.
Good luck with that.
I know.
Oh man, that would be crazy.
And I wonder where that's gonna go after the convention.
Oh no, it's a huge monument. It's staying there. Like it's
it's just staying there.
It's at it's near the developer offices.
Oh, okay.
It's like a 20-foot tall statue. It's like
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Damn. That's cool though.
They also announced something new. So do you guys remember what Dust 514 was? It was for PlayStation 3. It was a free-to-play shooter in the land and like the world of Eve, where corporations would like hire players to go attack like planets that were actually in Eve. So like corporations from Eve would hire people in Dust 514 to go like attack planets and stuff as mercenaries. Cool. And everyone was up in arms because it wasn't on PC, because like Eve's on PC, it's a PC game. Everyone who plays Eve is PC, so it's kind of stupid to put it on PlayStation 3 where none of your player base already is. Or while far less of it is. You can guarantee that everyone who plays Eve has a PC. You cannot guarantee that everyone who plays Eve has a PlayStation. So, they basically admitted that Dust 514 wasn't very good, because it wasn't. It was kind of like a boring shooter. But they're making a new one. They're making a new project called Project Legion, which is like Dust 514. It's like a reimagining of it with a lot of the concepts still there. And it's for PC.
Oh, thank God.
You just imagine the crowd cheering when they said that. And it's for PC.
So they're making a big PC FPS game that's like tied into Eve. And this is kind of part of their new new direction that they're going with the company. Last week we found out that they canceled World of Darkness, which was an MMO they're working on. And it's because this week they announced like Project Legion. They announced that Project Valkyrie, which is an Eve related thing where it's like a space shooter where you like fly a space fighter.
Oh yeah, I saw some gameplay of that.
They're moving that to Unreal Engine 4. And they announced that like, we are the Eve company now. We only do stuff related to Eve. We're doing a bunch of stuff to like expand the IP and make it a bigger deal than it is now, rather than just having Eve Online. So they basically announced a bunch of games tied into Eve to like make this universe that kind of plays together but plays independently.
Yeah, that's actually a really cool concept. I really like that. I did not know about that. I didn't know Valkyrie was related to them at all. I just saw some gameplay on YouTube.
That's cool.
Yeah, I don't know much about Valkyrie, but I know that like Dust 514 was always super cool sounding because like you hire people who exist in EVE Online who like run these corporations hire you to go do jobs for them basically in like a totally different game.
Yeah, I think
to
that's
like help push their political agendas within the MMO.
Yeah.
So like it's cool to have like these independent games that are like tied together.
Yeah.
It must be pretty fucking awesome to be head of one of those corporations in that game.
Yeah, they're huge.
You have to sit down at your computer every day and go, I'm pretty fucking important, and then just go and play your space video game.
That's pretty awesome.
It's kind of like bizarre.
That'd be like if you're playing World of Warcraft and you're like, yeah, I'm the head of all the Horde. And some other guy's like, yeah, I'm head of all the Alliance. And you're like, yeah, we're pretty fucking important.
Yeah, and like the EVE corporations go to war with each other all the time.
Yeah, I remember that fucking 7-day war or whatever it was they had.
Yeah. So Also, like, FanFest is, like, a big deal. Like, the corporations are a big deal. Like, everyone knows who they are. Like, at FanFest this week, the CEO of Burning Napalm, which is one of the corporations, he bought everyone there a beer.
Holy shit.
That's awesome.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
How much is a beer there?
It was estimated that the bill was like around $10,000.
Wow.
How the fuck does he have that much money?
Who
Does he
knows?
have a good job, or does he just make it off of fucking playing?
Play in
Does he
Eve?
make it off
No,
of
you
playing
can't
off
cash
Eve?
out in Eve. So, like, that's the thing that's always misleading about things costing a lot, because you can pay for your sub in the in-game currency, and so that's how they convert the in-game currency to, like, real money, but you can't actually cash it out for anything else, and so it's not really...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like Steam Wallet, kind of, in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that about wraps it up. We actually had things to talk about this week, so...
I know, it was great. It was way better than last week. Last week was horrible.
Last week was awful.
The
Oh,
stream
we've got one more thing to talk about that I forgot.
What?
Nintendo announced their E3 plans.
Oh,
And we have to talk
what was
about that.
I think I missed that.
Did you see the Mega 64 video with Reggie Fils-Aimé?
No, I didn't.
Or
I
Fils-Aimé?
remember reading something about that though.
Okay, the video was kind of funny.
Okay.
Mega 64 made a mech that looks like Reggie Fils-Aimé, and like went into Nintendo America headquarters with him to like find out all the E3 stuff so they would know it beforehand.
Yeah.
And they basically used it to announce that they're just going to do what they did last year, which is that they just did a Nintendo Direct and then like had a huge booth basically instead of doing the big huge press conference that costs $1 million.
Yeah.
So they're like, we're going to announce all of these games at E3 and like show you a bunch of game footage and stuff, and we're going to do a Nintendo Direct, and then we're going to have a big old like play area, but we're not going to do a press conference. And the thing is that that's sort of nice for a lot of reasons. One, if you're not at E3, you get to like just experience it like everyone else does.
yeah.
Two, if you do gaming related stuff like I do and Joe does, like we do this podcast, we're mildly obligated to watch the E3 stuff.
Yeah.
I don't have to get up at 7 a.m. to watch the goddamn Nintendo conference
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I
Yes,
could get
I
up-
always hated that.
whenever I want.
Yep.
So that's going to be awesome.
Because the Nintendo, they always made it like Sony and Xbox late at night Saturday, and then Nintendo was at fucking 7 a.m. on Sunday. It
Yeah,
was always horrible.
it
Yeah.
sucks.
I always miss so much of E3, like all the stuff I wanted to see because of that. Like I've never
And
really
it's
cared
like when I
about
was in
Microsoft.
when I was in high school, all the conferences were like when I was in class. So it
Yeah.
was like great. Now I'm in class and I'm fucking in computers. I'm supposed to be programming stuff in programming class, but I'm watching E3 instead.
In all the years that I've watched E3, I've seen literally one of Nintendo's press conferences because it's like
You usually
It's-
don't miss much.
it's,
I think
yeah,
it's better that they
yeah.
don't have the huge stage to do their horrible drumming acts on for Wii Music.
Dude,
yeah.
I don't think any of them should do the big stage. Like, what's even the point of it? Like, what was E3 last year? Like, what's the point? Like,
Yeah.
Buy our
Look at
console,
Sony's-
buy our console. Dogs.
like a lot of people...
Sports.
I was reading a lot of comments about it, and they're like, oh my god, way to lose E3 already, Nintendo. Like, the big point of going to E3 is to spend millions of dollars on a press conference so that you can do live game demos on the stage. And, like, everyone... And I'm like, but they're not live game demos on the stage. They're a person holding a controller while they play game footage that was pre-recorded, or they play a game that's on a PC and not actually on the console. So it's not really a live game demo, is it? Like, it's not representative of what the final product's going to be, because they're nowhere near the final product. So I would way rather just see high quality like pre-recorded footage that it was actually captured with a goddamn capture card that I can actually see, that isn't all pixelated and shit off
Yeah,
of some
and then
dude's camera phone.
and then it doesn't fucking freeze during the gameplay like they had fucking with Assassin's Creed and a couple other games last year.
Dude, the only game that I wanted to actually see the trailer of last year for the Xbox One was the Crimson Dragons one, which was the Panzer Dragoon. It had no audio. I was like, you son of a bitch! And then
I remember that.
And then overall, what was the point in those huge stage presentations? What did we get out of it? We got a pre-recorded video that Sony did where they're like, haha, we have used game guys. We're funny. Fuck you, Microsoft. I was like, that was worth the $5 million to fly everyone out and do all this bullshit.
Yeah.
That's
E3 is...
Especially in the position that Nintendo's in, I think it's a lot better of them just to do the Nintendo Direct because they don't have the money to spend.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they do.
They have the money to spend. And the thing is that last year... But last year's, though, I really enjoyed the Nintendo Direct. I thought it was way better than both of the press conferences. Yeah. Because I was like, wow, I get to look at, a bunch of games, 15 games, in about a 45-minute period, and I get to see good footage that's clear of all of them, and I can do it all in my own goddamn time.
Yeah. And they're coming up with some pretty good ideas for these. They came up with, did you see the Mario Kart Nintendo Direct that just passed by?
Yeah, I did watch that.
That was pretty cool, especially with the whole TV remote thing that they had going there, where it was flipping through channels. I found that pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I really like the Nintendo Direct. I think it was the right way for them to go about announcing stuff because they get to show, they have full control over how they show their product basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can just imagine that press conference Iwata's just standing there, just yeah. So how are we gonna do E3 this year? And one guy just stands up and he's just like, why don't we just make a YouTube video of 45 minutes of games? And they're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
You get a raise.
It really is a great idea.
And E3 last year, people were pissed about it. They're like, how dare you? What's wrong with you? This isn't what E3 is about. It's what is E3 about then? Just wasting money? Not showing people anything actually interesting?
If you spend the most money on your presentation, no matter how bad it is, you win. That's how E3 works in their mind.
Yeah, it's retarded.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because Nintendo talked about this. They're we're gonna do a Nintendo Direct instead because it cost us $15,000 to do a Nintendo Direct, and last year's E3 press conference cost us $6.5 million. It's well then, all right.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And yet people like Jeff Gerstmann Jeff Keighley. Jeff Gerstmann, you're a great man. Jeff Keighley, fuck you. Jeff Keighley was like, why didn't you do a press conference? It's the whole point of E3. It's the big hubbubaloo, and you do all the big show and do the dance and everything, and it's about celebrating games. And he's like, no, we celebrated games by showing people great games and a good quality. Reggie was totally hit the nail on the head.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Everyone loves Reggie. He's become his own meme. I definitely like the way I like the way that Nintendo is going right now and everything that they're doing.
I just wish they were making money.
Yeah, the branding is.
I wish they were making money, and I wish that their branding. I was fucking the same person that I was talking about who won all the board games, Nick. We were at Walmart and we were looking at the games in Walmart, and I was looking at the Wii U games, and he was like, "So what is the Wii U? I don't get it." I'm like, "It's the PS4 and Xbox One, but for Wii for Nintendo." It's like, oh. I didn't know that. I thought it was just an expansion thing for the Wii.
That's what a lot of people thought.
Yeah.
That's why for a while they didn't sell.
Everyone thought it was
as
just
much as they could have.
Everyone just thought it was the controller or whatever. It's when they first announced it, they literally didn't even mention that it was a new console. They just announced this controller and how it was gonna play, and they're like, "This is the Wii U," and we're like, "Call it the Wii 2. Anything, please."
Yeah, there were so many people So like I actually know people personally. I told them about the Wii U, and they're like, "Wait, the Wii U is another console?"
Yeah, it was
A
like
lot of
it's
people
just
just
horribly. It was horribly branded and horribly commercialized.
Yeah, Nintendo's generally not that good with marketing these days.
Yeah, they
Super
definitely
frustrating.
didn't do too well at that. Yeah,
Because it's the only platform of like the current gen consoles with any fucking games.
Yeah.
well, current gen, the Xbox One and the PS4 have just come out. Like the Wii U's been out for a much longer period of time.
Year and a half.
Yeah, so it's had a lot longer amount of time to get games out. And with the next couple coming weeks, with Mario Kart coming out and all that, it's definitely going to get more hype.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Especially when they're like, buy Mario Kart and you can have 10 other games. You can have one of 10 games free. And you're like, well, I'm going to fucking buy a Wii U and Mario Kart now.
Yeah, dude, I really need.
If I had
that.
I need to get a-
Monster Hunter.
I need to get an external hard drive for mine because I realized I only have 1 gig left. Because I have
If I,
4 games digital.
Yeah.
Fucking Jesus.
If I were to get a Wii U, it'd be like right now. And if I had the money, like I said, I'd get a Wii U if I had money or I could get it for free.
I'm
Yeah.
finally gonna have money this year this like summer because I got a job. So
Nice.
That's
Yeah.
good.
I've put in my resume at a couple places, so I'm hoping I get something too.
I didn't even have to apply for it. My friend's like, "Hey, we need a programmer. You want to program?" I'm like, "Yes."
That's how I got
I-
my 2 jobs that I've had. It's just
I
like,
had
hey,
2
come help us.
I had 2 companies come up to me and they're like, "Give us your resume and we'll probably hire you." And I'm like, "Okay." I sent them my resume, still waiting for a reply. It's only been like a week. Hasn't been that long.
No, that's not that long. I would
Yeah.
Especially since
next
the
week.
one
I would
company's,
ask.
like,
I'd be like,
Yeah.
at like a week and a half. I'd be like, "Hey, sent you a resume."
the other company, I'm not too surprised though, because they're like in the middle of setting up a theatrical performance of Joseph's Technicolor Dreamcoat, and then I'd be the lighting designer for the show after that. So they're kind of like in the middle of a show right now, so I can't really blame them for not replying to me right away. The director's like probably in the middle of yelling at actors and setting up lighting and making sure everything's running at the moment anyways.
All right, let's start wrapping this up here.
Yeah, wrapping it. That's what I ate for dinner.
I like
Great.
that, you know.
They're
For
good.
me.
So, thank you, Pierre, for coming on. You were a great guest.
Yeah, man, no problem. Happy to be here. Had a lot of fun. Sorry my webcam kind of
That's all
pooped out
right.
on us.
It was good that
it's
you got a
never-
picture up of yourself.
I literally took that like while I was talking.
It
So,
worked.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely good to be on here. I had a lot of fun, so thank you for having me.
No
So-
problem. Glad to have you.
Thanks for coming on. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching and or listening to the podcast live or sometime in the future. And I've been your host, Ryan. With me, as always, has been Joe.
Sup?
And we will see you guys next time. Also, oh yeah, Rated S for Sandwich is on next week.
Come check that out. He's
So
a cool
make
guy.
sure to watch that.
Yeah, come check it out.
And now we'll actually say bye. So,
Okay.
bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.